It's Enrico Pallazzo!
Utah, give me 2.
Pallazzo!
Utah, give me 2.
What is up, everybody? Mike Virginia here with my boy, Britton Allan here. Sunday, fantasy baseball season, getting you ready for drafts. We got to change this banner here, Britton, because I had the fantasy baseball Ask Me Anything with Micah on Friday. If you didn't check that out, make sure you go do that. We're going to change this up a little bit, my friend. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great. Have you been watching the Winter Olympics? Apparently, the United States of America won both gold in women's and men's hockey. Go USA. Did you watch any of that?
I did see that. Yes, I was with my wife when we were watching it together. So which one do we want here? We'll just do that.
Congratulations. And I know hockey is a big deal, obviously, but it's not my favorite. Obviously, the luge is the best event. I mean, do you agree, disagree? What do you think?
I gotta be honest with you. I don't really watch the Olympics. I find them extremely boring. It's just like literally nothing. Everyone's like, you're so un-American. I'm like, it has nothing to do with the fact that I don't want us to win. I'm just personally not going to watch it. But I get it. The hockey thing was cool. It was one of the best hockey games I have ever seen in my best hockey games I've ever seen in my entire life, which was fun. I felt like, and I don't know much about hockey, and anybody in the live chat, welcome. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It felt like Canada was just a lot faster and more aggressive and like the better team. But we just, ended up coming up and coming up big when it mattered most. And USA took it home, Britton.
I love watching hockey. In Nashville, they have the Predators. And when you go to a Predators game in downtown Nashville, it's a whole lot of fun watching it live. Watching it on TV, you don't really – it's hard to pick up on just how fast it is.
Yeah.
But, I love watching hockey. But, hey, we're not here to talk about hockey. We're here to talk about fantasy baseball and our reactions to spring training, our overreactions, and everything we say today. There needs to be an asterisk.
It's true.
It's just spring training, and the only reason we bring it up that Mike V and I are going to talk about it is if it reinforces our biases that we want to be reinforced. We're human beings. That's the whole purpose of spring training. If a player I like does well, I say, well, look at that. If a player I like doesn't do well, I say, it's spring training. Who cares? Yeah. So it's going to be fine. I'm going to rationalize it no matter what. Is that what you do, Mike V, or is that just
yes? Me? No, you're right. We're going to talk about that later. But we have a question from Birch McCollum. It looks like he got in about 25 minutes prior to our show starting here, Britton.
What up, Birch?
He says, fully understand you should leave your heart at the door. But, well, first off, should you
have a heart?
I was going to say.
I was like, I sold mine about 20 years ago.
Right. Yeah, exactly. If at the end of my pitchers list, it comes down to Mania or Senga, who are you taking? I'm obviously a Mets fan. Who do you like here, Britton, for fantasy this year? Like Sean Mania, who gave up a bomb to Luis Robert the other day? Or are you taking Kodai Senga in hopes for a resurgence season?
This is a great question because I really want Kodai Senga on every single one of my teams. He has been looking good. Asterisks, spring training, get all that, but velocity's up. Kodai Senga had kind of a disappointing season last year. I'm not touching Mania with a 10-foot pole. Like he had a good season a couple years ago. That was an outlier, I think. He's a soft tossing lefty, and I know Senga doesn't exactly light it up velocity wise either, but he's more of a Greg Maddux, painter and ghost fork and all that kind of stuff. So I really like Kodai Senga for the Mets to have a bounce back. And it's not like you got to pay for him. I mean, he's your one of your last in a 12 team. He's your last pitcher picked, but he's got some upside there because he has been successful. What do you say, Mike V? What do you take?
I'm with you, Big Daddy. I'm on Senga as well. Mania is interesting, right? Like, and I agree with you. I think we saw that one decent season from him. But when he came back last year, he had a couple 8-9 strikeout games before the wheels fell off. But if I had to pick between these two, Birch, I would definitely go Senga here. I just think the upside's higher. I think your ceiling's higher with Senga. And at that point in the draft, like Britton had mentioned, you want guys who you're banking on an upside. And if they don't hit, you drop them and pick up somebody else. So give me Senga here.
And don't forget, Birch, you got a big upgrade in defense in center field. Your 9-hole hitter, Mr. Luis Robert Jr., is going to be making all kinds of plays out there when he plays.
For a month or two.
Yeah. So that'll be good.
Speaking of, Bo Bichette looks like a stud third baseman as well. I don't know if you caught his throw that he pulled the first baseman off of the other day, but that's going to be interesting, Britton. Obviously we all know Bo Bichette will be in the lineup, but man, they're going to have a tough time finding a place for him to play. He's not very good defensively. I'm like, he wasn't even that good at short, but do you have any interest? We talked about it on Friday a little bit. Do you have any interest in Bo Bichette as your third baseman for fantasy this year? Maybe if you're waiting on third base? No?
Never. No, I'm sorry. I like Bo Bichette, and he's probably good for your batting average. But other than that 1 year with Dunedin and Buffalo, I mean, his stats are just kind of blah. Like I'm at his now, he's got name recognition, and I think that drives up his ADP plus that one good season. But no offense to Bo Bichette, but third, we've talked about third baseman. I won't beat a dead horse and how we feel about it, but I would just wait in draft Max Muncy, 20 rounds later. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I love Max Muncy. I was actually listening to our show on Wednesday, Britton, at the gym this morning, and you brought him up and somebody else, and you had said something like, "Hey, I'd rather have Max Muncy like multiple rounds later."
And I mean, just to clarify, I mean the Dodgers Max Muncy. There's another, another Max Muncy. Yeah. Ironically enough, like, what are the odds of that? But yeah, there's another Max Muncy in Major League Baseball, but he plays for the Athletics. But I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Dodgers Max Muncy.
I'm with you on that too, dude. I think more and more I was listening to you talk about Muncy too. Like, I'm all over him in drafts this year. I think he has
a great bargain.
It really is, because he's playing in that lineup. He's still got 20, 30 homer pop. He just got to stay healthy. And for people who don't remember when he rocked the rec specs last year, and everyone was like, whoa, and he's starting to hit again, right? So, like, I love Max Muncy this year. And you get him super cheap. I do like Bo Bichette a little bit, to Britton's point. 311 batting average last year. He's in a better spot in the lineup, I would say, hitting third in front of guys like Lindor and Soto. But the Blue Jays were also good. So the 311 batting average, and then Britton's point, like, he scored 78 runs, 18 homers. Like, he does a little bit of everything good, but nothing that's particularly great. So I think I'm with you on that, Britton. I think I'd rather have Max Muncy, but I would feel good about having Bo Bichette as my third base and noting that you could play him at the shortstop as well. But I wouldn't have any lofty expectations regarding that.
Yeah, I'm just not a Bo Bichette guy, but I do like what the Mets have done this year. We have a Lewis Robert Jr. bit, but they've made moves, and the Mets are going to compete with Philadelphia. So more power to them.
Well, guys, today's show, for those of you guys who are watching us on Twitter and YouTube, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the YouTube channel here. I'm at _Mike VA. Britton over here, or this way, is at Britton Allan, 2 T's, 2 L's. Make sure you go back and check out all of our old videos that we've been doing for draft prep season. But today's show, obviously, we'll answer all your questions, but today's show is going to be focused on spring training reactions, like Britton alluded to earlier in the show. And it's funny that you brought up that point, Britton, about if it fits your bias, because we're not the only people that do it. Everybody in the industry does it, because if there's somebody that they're out on and they have a good spring, or they're having a good spring, they're like, screw it. And then a pitcher could come out there and throw like 98, 99 and be like, see, I told you. So everybody in the industry does it. Don't let anybody fool you. It's spring training. Again, I've been on record of saying this, and we'll get into this a little bit later as well. Right now, it means absolutely nothing. I think later in spring, I think it possibly might, but that's the point of today's show. Britton, did you want to kick us off? Is there anybody that has stood out to you so far in the very limited action that we've gotten in spring training, or just anything regarding that?
You're going to love this, Mike V, because I watched the Baltimore Orioles play the other day with Trevor Rogers on the mound. 2 innings pitched, 0 walks, 3 Ks. Velocity was up, not middle, not down, up.
Give me the must draft.
Must draft. Here's what I love about Trevor Rogers, because people are down on him because he got traded and then didn't have a great year and was hurt. But last year, don't forget, Trevor Rogers for the O's, 109 innings pitched, which was a lot, which was more than I remember, right? 103 Ks, 1.8 ERA, a 0.9 whip.
Love that.
All right. So he's fully recovered from his injury. He's looking good. I think his ADP is 164. Must draft.
Must draft.
I mean, seriously, he looks like a ace. Okay, maybe not Scooble Crochet Skeens, but he ain't that far from those guys that you can get at ADP 164. Asterisk.
I'd buy that.
Spring training. But he did go through the Yankees lineup for two innings, and it was the regular guys. It wasn't Joey baseball bags. So it's very encouraging. So I think Trevor Rogers. You look at his year last year. In spring training, he looks good. He's healthy. We know he's talented. Baltimore Orioles. They have Pete Olson. I mean, I love Trevor Rogers as a SP1. Like if you want to go let's say Aaron Judge first round, Kyle Schwarber second round, Zach Neto third round, just boom, 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 just and then like Edwin Diaz fourth round, like do it, and then later just grab Trevor Rogers, Kyle Bradish, Cam Schlittler, Trey Savage, and I think you're going to be fine. Schlitter's full.
That's right.
I had cousin Eddie.
That's right.
Schlitter's full.
I love that call, dude. I'm a big Trevor Rogers guy. In the Pallazzo Podcast Invitational, I believe I drafted him as well. But yeah, I'm with you on that strategy. More and more, I look at draft prep, which we talked about earlier. That I'm getting into a lot of draft prep right now. I actually have a draft tonight, Mike Virginia Invitational League number 2.
Ooh, are you streaming that bad boy?
I can.
Why don't you stream it? I'll come on and hang out.
Tell me how terrible all my picks are.
Yes. Well, your picks aren't going to be terrible because you have direct access to wonderful advice.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I'm with you on Trevor Rogers, dude. I think, and I agree with that strategy. That's probably what I'm going to do. And as I get into closer and more of my drafts, is wait on pitching and kind of get those guys in the later rounds, the Emmett Sheehans, the Yuri Perez's, the Gavin Williams, Trey Savage, all of those guys. I'm with you on that. And a guy like Trevor Rogers as well. The one thing that I wanted to bring up, Britton, which stood out to me yesterday, and I don't know how much weight you put into this. I know a guy
putting a lot more weight into everything lately, Mike V.
There
it's
you go.
Been past couple years, things have gotten a little out of control. You're a fitness guy.
That's right.
I'm not.
Fitness, Miller Lite, and down my throat.
I got my elbow right here has been working it.
Right. The guy that I liked, and I'll get into this question here from Soup Carrot here in two seconds here, buddy, because I love the question. I saw Shane McClanahan get up to 95, 98 miles an hour yesterday and said he was throwing 80%. Now that could just be, a player who's just overestimating how good he felt. But, and I know you were out on him last year simply because of the fact that, he was coming back from injury, and rightfully so. You were right on the money with that. Do you have any interest so far now that we've seen Shane McClanahan, if he comes out of spring feeling good and the velocity's up, even at 80% of that 95 to 98 miles an hour, another guy like Shane McClanahan who's going way deeper in drafts, or are you completely out? Noting that they're moving back indoors and not playing in that small ballpark.
I'm not completely out, but I will monitor the situation. So
okay.
it's going to be hard.
That's a step up.
Yeah, normally, last year he was out, gone. I don't care what they say. I don't care what the reports say. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm open to the idea of drafting Shane McClanahan, but I think that later on in drafts, like it is kind of a rich pool in starting pitching. There's a lot of upside. You got, we talked about Gavin Williams. Sonny Gray has got a new spot. Like,
yep,
there are pitchers out there that you can get that frankly, Shane McClanahan is more of an injury risk than most, I think. And if I'm wrong, I understand that. But
no, you're right. You're not wrong. You're 100% right. I think we talked about it on Friday's show too. There's always something with me, Britton, that kind of. I got like angel and devil on each of these shoulders. The devil's telling me like, hey, screw what everybody says, man. This could be a guys like Spencer Strider or McClanahan, these guys coming back from injuries that their draft price have fallen. And it always gives me like the what ifs in my mind. Like, what if they end up turning back to even slightly remotely close to what they were pre-injury? And it's hard for me to kind of set aside because the Angels telling me, hey, Mike, play it safe, man. Like major shoulder, elbow, whatever it is we're talking about, whatever pitcher we're talking about, it's hard to come back from and be dominant again. So, but it's funny to me, Britton, because a lot of people are in on a guy like a guy like Cole Reagans, for instance, but not on a guy like Shane McClanahan. So I'm interested to see or you hear your thoughts in terms of how you balance that out for one, in terms of what I just mentioned with the angel and the devil type things that ever cross your mind. And why are you in on a guy like Cole Reagans, but not in on a guy like Shane McClanahan?
Because Cole Reagans ended the year playing. He ended the year on the mound without any issues, and he's the ace of the Kansas City Royals. And if he had any issues, they would not have let him make those starts. So
good point.
But you're talking about a player that didn't play last year, 0.0 major league innings pitched. So that's the difference to me. If a player if a player got hurt, a pitcher got hurt, got through it and ended the year on the mound, I'm much more inclined to say, okay, we're good. If it's a guy that did not pitch last year, you're rolling the dice, man. I mean, that's just a fact. And I mean, everything is a roll of the dice.
Of
Lucky
course.
sevens, baby, 7-11. But
so I guess
sorry.
I guess it's like that roll, like hit on 16, right? Like, so for you in drafts, when you see guys maybe that fall to you, right? And you're kind of deciding between players, maybe you need SP, and you see a guy like Spencer Strider, Shane McClanahan, Garrett Cole Reagans. Obviously, you like Cole Reagans, so maybe
I'll take Reagans. I won't draft Cole or
right. But that's what I'm saying. So you look at a guy and you're like, it's like hitting on 16. You're either all in or you're all out. So when you see guys like that on your draft board and they fall to you, you know that, hey, there's no way I'm taking him. I'll take somebody else, right?
Yeah, just because I think more, as long as you're consistent. If you do not bet on an injured pitcher, you're going to win more than you lose, and that's all I want. I don't want the up and down. I just want consistency. So that's kind of my rule. Like, but there is one guy I would take if he fell in a average draft position is Zach Wheeler. He's fallen to a point where it's his last year of the contract. I think he's going to give him everything he's got. And Zach Wheeler is a stud. And if he misses a month, that's fine. Because it's ADP, you don't have to draft him in the top 10 rounds or whatever it is.
Very true.
So I'm down with Zach Wheeler, but that would be the only one. I don't want any other injured pitcher coming injured. Speaking of injury, Mike V, I wanted to bring this up. I'm glad you made that point. Joe Ryan for the Minnesota Twins, not an unimportant piece of fantasy. Lower back inflammation for Joe Ryan. Is this a big deal? Have you read anything about it? You know, Pablo Lopez is out for the year. What about Joe Ryan? Have you seen that?
Yeah, Dave Funnel retweeted something out earlier today too, and he said, "I don't have Twitter, but sorry that I scared all you guys with his back." So take that for what it's worth from Joe Ryan, but it sounds like it's just early bumps and bruises from spring training. Let's at least hope. Does he slide in drafts maybe this weekend and people get scared? I don't know, man. But I think I'm still in on Joe Ryan. I think they sent him for a precautionary MRI and it was just inflammation, which was a good thing. But as long as we're not talking shoulder, elbow, I think I'm still in on a guy like Joe Ryan. But what about you?
I was never that in the first place. Plus, he plays for the Twins.
That's true.
Which aren't that good defensively, aren't that good offensively. I mean, you got Byron Buxton, but other than that, yeah, I'm not really on any of the Twin starters unless I have to be. And Joe Ryan's kind of a little dude. Not that means anything, but back inflammation. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's not. I just is there a Twin? Let me look real quick. Is there a Twin starting pitcher that anybody on the team that you're interested in?
Maybe Zebby Matthews is a late round flyer in hopes that we see the prospect pedigree shine through, but a really deep flyer there. Taj Bradley is also interesting to me. I know a lot of people don't like him, but we've seen electric fastball from him, a lot of Ks, in hopes that maybe they give him a shot again. Again, these are much deeper leagues that I'm taking a chance on him just as a
Yeah.
Nothing in terms of I'm relying on any of these guys, but I'm also out on Byron Buxton. He's also on my do not draft list this year.
Really? After
yeah,
his
have
30-30, whatever last year?
Have to be.
Yeah.
We just talked about injuries. That's the first healthy season he's had since he's been in the majors.
Yeah.
And he still got hurt last year and still gave us that. So I'm not paying the draft price for that. I'm going to bet 9 times out of 10 he's going to end up on the injured list. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm not buying that. So
I agree with you 1,000%. Like I had him in a couple leagues last year, and if you did it, you got lucky. But I'm not betting on it again. I'll take the under. Look at this Twins lineup. Okay, you got Buxton, Keishel, Josh Bell, Wallner.
Keishel I'm in on.
Yeah, Keishel's good. Trevor Larnach, Royce Lewis, Victor Carantini is their DH.
Oof.
Oh no. Oh no.
Which is worse, Jose Urquidy as your 5th starter or Victor Carantini as your DH?
Jose Urquidy. Hey, a DH is 1 and 9. I mean, your starting pitcher is your starting pitcher. You know, he's going to get lit.
Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. So Joe Ryan, Bailey Ober had a terrible year last year.
How do you feel about him? Because he's an interesting guy too. Like I talked about Zebby Matthews and Taj Bradley. Are you in on a guy like Bailey Ober? Because he said his hip issues are behind him, and he said he had a lot of hip issues going on last year. Maybe he's a buy low as well in terms of a late round flyer that you can get. Would you be willing to take a shot on him?
That's a really great question, and I looked into him because I'm like, I remember there was a day when he was good. You know, but that day was 2022. And not that he was bad later, but every year since 2022, his ERA has gone up 3.43, 3.98, and then last year 5.10. So every year he's getting worse. His K per 9 is going down. He's 30 years old. You know, can he have a bounce back season? Absolutely. I think you're lucky if you get 170 innings with a 3.98 ERA and like a 1.2 WHIP. Is that terrible? No. I mean, that's perfectly fine. But you also have the risk that he's going to blow up your ERA like he did last year. So no, I'm not in on Ober. I don't see there's zero upside.
That's
true. So I'll pass. I'll let somebody else. Maybe he has bounce back here, but not on the Twins. Not interested.
Gotcha. Soup Carrots. Sorry it took so long to get to your question here, man. I don't think I've seen you be here before. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel here. It's what we do every Sunday during the regular season. We'll answer your questions. He's talking about one of my boys here, Britton. Do you guys think that Jordan Lawler has a shot at a full-time role? Alec Thomas has a WRC plus south of 81, and his defensive metrics have been in decline the last 2 years. Here's the thing with Jordan Lawler, guys. He's still riding high on the prospect pedigree. They let Eugenio Suarez walk. Corbin Carroll is going to miss probably the first month of the season. Hopefully not, but that's tracking that way. And I think they're going to give him some run in the outfield with Jordan Lawler there. I like him, Britton, still. I think I'm not ready to give up on him yet. Does he have a full-time role out of the gate? Nobody knows until we see, a couple games into the regular season. But same thing we talked about with some of these injured pitchers or some of these guys that are way late in drafts. Are you willing to take a lottery ticket here on Lawler, Britton, in hopes that he figures it out?
23 years old. He looks like he's going to be in the starting lineup according to Roster Resource. Center field, Jordan Lawler, first round draft pick, 6 overall.
Mm-hmm.
You have to give him a chance. You have to.
Yep.
Now, if you look at his service time is like nothing. Like they have to give him a full-time look. Now, last year he played, 28 games. His batting average was 182, 0 home runs, a couple stolen bases. Look, that's just too small a sample size. You got to give this first round pick a bunch of runs. So I hope it works out for him. He hasn't had much success. The most home runs he's hit in the minor leagues was in 2023. So I don't know, 20 home runs, but he did steal 36 bases.
Yeah.
So,
He's a 2020 guy.
2020, you're looking at a 2020 guy. Is he going to be a superstar? No, I don't think so. But yeah, I think you can get a 2020 out of Jordan Lawler for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Okay. Robbie's in the live chat. For those of you guys who don't know, Robbie and Ben are our prospect gurus. They do a show every Monday. Make sure you guys check them out. Follow at Big Gentle Ben and Robbie Baseball 1 on Twitter. Robbie, if you're in the live chat and help us out here, would you be looking to buy low on a guy like Jordan Lawler in Dynasty? Be interested to hear your take on that. And my take here, obviously, in Dynasty, I might look to buy low, but I'm with Britton. Until I see it, I don't know if I'm willing to spend a lot of draft capital on him. He's a what the heck flyer for me, and hopefully he comes out of the gate swinging. So
he's 23.
He's 23. Can't give up on him yet.
But this year's important because with Corbin Carroll, kind of down. Corbin Carroll might be ready for opening day. I don't know. We'll see. But Jordan Lawler, this is kind of not a make it or break it because, like I said, he's only 23. But yeah, he needs to show something this year, no doubt. Yeah,
him and Kobe Mayo, I would say, are the two the guys I'm looking forward to watching the most, and because injuries have opened up playing time for these guys the most. And again, big top name prospects coming up in their respective organizations. It's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, this is another guy to watch out for. I know so many people want him to start opening day. I don't know if that happens, but
this guy might eat Jordan Lawler's lunch money. No way. You don't eat lunch. You don't eat money for lunch. I don't know.
You
might. If you're Mike V, you might.
You might.
Because you're rolling in that dough, baby, with some cinnamon and sugar on that dough. They call it a cinnamon roll. That's what Mike V eats.
Love him.
Actually, Mike V, seriously, in all seriousness, what'd you have for breakfast today? Let me tell you what I think you have, then you tell me what you really had.
Okay.
Some type of oats. Some type of granola and oats and yogurt, a protein shake, not the dirty kind. I'm talking about, like a real, like you get at a health restaurant. Are we on the same page here?
You've hit 2 out of the 3. I did have a protein shake, and I did have a cup of Greek yogurt. I had some berries as well. So
berries,
yes, had some berries.
My God. I just see you out in your backyard with a basket. Just out picking berries, and then like doing the Sound of Music every now and then, like this. The hills are alive with blueberries.
I hope Govier can do like an AI thing and put my face on that lady's face and show
the
that
Sound of Music. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I've ever actually seen that movie. I mean,
You're not missing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not missing anything. Sticking with the Twins really quick, because it is part of my little white bubble here up on the screen. I don't know if anybody saw it. Royce Lewis hit a big old dong yesterday that went out of the ballpark. I'm interested in hear your thoughts on this one, Britton, because I know you don't like him because he's always hurt.
That's not true. I like Royce Lewis a lot. I think he's a great human being. I wish him the best.
Right. Just in terms of injuries, though. For fantasy.
No, I would never draft.
Right.
Never.
This is one of the things too. Like if we're talking about late round flyers, like Royce Lewis has obviously fallen down on people's draft boards, and he was considered a super prospect by many. And we've seen kind of the flashes of him when he is healthy. He stole a base yesterday too, Britton. They got to do whatever it takes to get this guy, keep this guy healthy, not get him healthy. Well, I guess both, get and stay healthy. So I don't know if his playing opportunities will both be there to have a successful fantasy season, but with the state of third base, if you really, really wanted to wait and you wanted to take a gamble and have Royce Lewis as your starting third baseman, would that make you a little nervous leaving your draft?
I'm not doing it. So yeah, that's I'm not getting nervous because I'm not doing it because he's had soft tissue injuries every single season of his career. Could it be different? Of course. Could he do a Byron Buxton? Of course. But I'm not going to find out. And I really like him. I think he's a solid dude by all accounts. I wish him a massive amount of success, but his injury history is just you're flirting with the devil. And I did that in my 20s. I'm not flirting with the devil anymore. I went nice, safe, Max Muncy at third, or Addison Barger for some upside.
Like that.
Okimoto in Toronto.
Love that.
Murikama in the White Sox. So yeah, if I'm dude, I would even take Matt Chapman ahead of Royce Lewis.
Oh, I would take all those guys over him for sure.
Yeah, me too. And if it got even later, I would seriously consider Colt Keith. I know he may platoon against lefties, but he might not. So I would do that too. But yeah, I wish Royce Lewis the best. Hey, did you see him steal that base in the game that he did a home run? That looked like me stealing a base. Like that's how smooth that stolen base looked. He's not Trey Turner out there on the base pass. You know what I'm saying? He looks like Cal Schwarber out there on the base pass. Kind of rumbling, dumbling, stumbling. Like what is this, a Savannah banana game? Like that was the unsmoothest stolen base. I don't think he meant to steal. I think he tripped and just kind of fell forward.
I would pay really good money to watch you in a live Major League Baseball game try to steal second. I'd pay really good money. I'd pay really good money for that.
I wouldn't make it 20 steps. I'd trip and fall flat on my face, and like break my nose or something stupid like that.
Robbie wants to know, the better conversation with Minnesota is who closes and will it matter if they don't win? So we always talk about this is a good conversation piece here, Robbie, obviously, because closers, if you play in a saves only league, they go off the board very quickly, especially in your NFBC leagues, and which are 5x5 roto, and you start taking shots on flyers. Even guys like Sir Anthony Dominguez, who's been named the closer for the White Sox. Any closer is worth having if you're playing a draft and hold. I think it's Justin Topa or Tapa. I don't know how you say his last name. That's who I think at least gets the shot. I know they got Taylor Rogers as well, who could also see some opportunities. And then also Cole Sands. I think a lot of people were in on him last year closing, but did not fare well in that role. Honestly, it's probably just a situation to avoid altogether. But if I had to pick and had a gun to my head, I think Topa or Tapa, I don't know how you say his last name. Pronunciation police, don't come after me. I think he gets the first crack, but any interest there, Brett? And I know the answer is probably no, but if you needed a closer really bad, who are you taking a flyer on there with Minnesota?
Taylor Rogers would be my pick. I don't want any of that, but if you're in a draft and hold and it's round 40, I mean, we're talking like ADP 550 or something. Yeah. Take a shot on Tyler Rogers. He's currently listed as a closer for whatever it's worth and roster resource. His projections from Steamer and all the other ones are 20. So yeah, I would take a shot with Rogers. I bet Topa gets some. I bet Sands gets some, but Rogers, he's like he's the only one that has like closer pedigree, I guess. So if you're in a draft and hold, and take a shot on Tyler Rogers. Why not? At that point, you're drafting players that you just hope have a avenue to playing time. When you're in that deep a draft, and he's got as good a chance as anybody as getting saves.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree with you. I think either one of those is just worth a what the heck closer.
Hey, speaking of saves, there's a situation in Arizona, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Two guys, Kevin Winkle my Ginkle, and Paul Sewald, who I think they just signed Paul Sewald, who used to close. He was a closer for Seattle, and then the Diamondbacks.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess they're running it back with Paul Sewald. So that's kind of in the range, like Ginkle, Sewald, and then Rogers for the Twins. Who would you, if you had to pick one of those three, who would you pick?
Probably Ginkle if I had to put my money on anybody. Arizona's going to win baseball games. Minnesota won't. But I think in the beginning, Torey Lovullo will probably do a mix and match. He loves Paul Sewald, dude. I would not be surprised if he got the first crack. But if again, my money's on Ginkle to be the closer out of there. There's somebody else in there that they like as well. I can't remember. I know Justin Martinez is going to be on the IL, hard throwing righty that they locked up. But I think for this year, it's probably going to be let's feel it out. But you have any strong thoughts? Anybody that you're taking a chance on there?
I'd probably take Sewald. They just signed him. It's a 1-year contract. There's no arbitration. There's nothing coming up. I think they'll just try to get saves out of Sewald. Now, will he perform? Probably not. I'm sorry to say, but maybe. So yeah, but we're in that range of just shots, desperate. You're down to like your last $5. And you're just like, you get those scratch offs and you're like, oh, just let me hit one so I can,
exactly
buy some cigarettes or something. Yeah.
Right.
But there is one guy there. What do you think about Dre Jameson? He's one guy. He was a first round draft pick.
They were very big on him.
He's in their bullpen. I mean, that's kind of maybe.
It's interesting. Yeah.
So it's just a name to think about.
Yeah, he was another highly touted prospect with them who hasn't quite nearly panned out. Another guy, Brandon Fott, those guys are still waiting to come around on. So it'd be interesting to see which one of those two takes the next step, if either of them do. But Britton Joe G wants to know, and a fan of the show, has always been in here rocking with us for a while now. He wants to know draft 2 for Roto: Jazz Chisholm, Zach Neto, and Jackson Chorio. I think I know your answer to this question, but go ahead.
Draft 2, I'm going Neto and Churio, which sounds crazy because Jazz is a 30-30 guy, but his batting average ain't good, and I think you have to spend a second-round pick for Jazz Chisholm for the Yankees. Mm-hmm. Neto, you can get in the third round. He's also 30-30, and if you look at his hard hit stuff, it's awesome. Zach Neto batting leadoff for the Angels. And I'm just a Jackson Churio guy. You know me. I get the Cheerios like fresh out of the fire, and I go.
Yeah, I know you do, bud. I thought you were actually going to say Jazz and Chorio, but now that I look at it now, the only reason why I might pick Jazz is because, and I don't know where he qualifies in NFBC leagues, but because doesn't he qualify at third and second?
Second and third, yes.
Yeah, so the way third base is.
Hey, I like all these guys. Don't get me wrong. So I was a big Jazz guy last year. I targeted him everywhere. So maybe it's just that deal where I did that last year. I'm ready to move on, kind of deal. But no, there's nothing wrong with a 230 batting average and a 30-30 guy for Jazz, and on a good team hitting down that short porch. You can't go wrong here. I mean, this is just personal preference, and I'd rather get Neto in the third than Jazz in the second.
Yeah, Joe, I think we're both in on Chorio. For me, it's very close between Jazz and Neto. I'm only picking Jazz because I want to get my hands on a solid third baseman. They did ask him the other day, too, like, who's the next 50-50 player, 50 homers, 50 steals, and he says, you're looking at him. So
I love Jazz. No, he's cool,
he's got all the confidence.
I'm down with him. I like his swag.
But it's hard for me not to pick Zach Neto because I've been on Zach Neto train for forever. And I'm so glad he had a good season last year. Can he replicate last year? I think, again, same thing. We're only scratching the surface. I think we're seeing a superstar in the making here with Zach Neto. But like I said, very close. I'm definitely taking Chorio, and hopefully that he goes 30-30 and takes that next step. But it's Jazz by slight hair, and I don't feel good about it because I love Neto. So.
And remember, Jazz had a good season last season because he stayed healthy. That hasn't been the case historically with Jazz Chisholm.
You are correct. Good point.
So just that's another thing just to be aware of.
Yep. I don't get this here. Josh Naylor was 30-30 on saves last year.
30 attempts, 30. Yeah, Josh Naylor.
Oh,
Josh Naylor. Wait a minute.
Saves or stolen bases?
Josh Naylor had 30 stolen bases last year. Is that right?
Which he's a big fade for me. Yes, he did.
Okay.
He's a big fade for me because I don't think he replicates that in Seattle.
I knew he had a bunch, but I didn't think it was 30.
Same. When I saw it, I was like, "There's no." Oh, actually, that is correct.
Okay.
He's a fade for me. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, first base, first." I get it. I just don't think the stolen bases will be there. I think we'll probably see something a little bit less than that. Can he get double digits? Yes. Do I think he steals even 20? I'd be hard pressed to see that happening.
But anytime he gets drafted, I love to do this joke. Naylor, I barely know her.
Oh yeah, that was a big one we had last year.
It never gets old. Remember that player Jake Lamb? He was like a utility player for the D-backs for a bunch of years. Well, he had like one good year where he hit 20 home runs. So every time he got drafted, my favorite joke was, "Hey, there's Jake Lamb. He's not bad."
I like that. That's good too.
Yeah.
Chubbs Peterson wants to know keeper league. Britton here. Keep one. Perez, Rice, Rasmussen, leaning Perez. I assume we're talking Sal Perez. Am I missing? Maybe it's Yuri. Maybe it's Yuri Perez.
Yeah, I guess keeper league would be Yuri Perez. So let's just say it's Yuri Perez.
Yeah,
Yuri Perez, Ben Rice, or Rasmussen. I'm leaning Yuri Perez upside. I like Rice too. If you want to get a hitter.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'd go Yuri Perez as well. Star Platinum says last year Jazz missed a month when he came back. He was a slight groin injury, didn't run a ton for the next 6 weeks, missed 4 weeks of hitting and 10 weeks of running. In the 11th week, he stole 7 bases. So, yeah, I mean, that's another thing too. Like a lot of people will probably like combat I'm out on Bryce Byron Buxton, how can you be on a guy like Jazz Chisholm who's been equally as hurt? Yeah, that's a fair point. So
it's just our personal biases, man. That's
it
all
is.
it
It
is.
is, man. Anybody else in spring training here, Britton? Let's get back on the road here. Anybody else in spring training that you've seen thus far that's maybe tickling your fancy?
Yeah, there's one guy that I've been drafting a lot in draft and hold leagues, and this has been going on for months. And so now that I've seen this player pitch on television, and it reinforces my biases that I want, now I'm even happier about it. And the pitcher's name is starting pitcher for the New York Yankees, Elmer Rodriguez. And if you look, some places like NFBC has him as Rodriguez dash or hyphen Cruz, Cruz. So if you type in the search bar in Yahoo, or I don't play Yahoo, but ESPN or whatever, and you type in Rodriguez and you don't see him, it could be because he's in the system with a hyphen and Cruz. But Elmer Rodriguez Cruz is the number one starting pitching prospect in the New York Yankees organization. I think he led the minor leagues in strikeouts last year. I'll have to double check my math on that one, but awesome pitcher. He's the first one up if any of their starting rotation guys get hurt. And as much as I love Ryan Weathers, and he is 100% a target of mine later on in drafts, I think that was a great trade for the New York Yankees. I love Ryan Weathers. There's upside. If he has a full healthy year, watch out, baby. That guy's got the stuff. But if he doesn't, if he gets hurt, their first call up is going to be Elmer Rodriguez Cruz. He went through 3 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 1K. So I'm in on Elmer Rodriguez Cruz as a late round starting pitching flyer for the end of your draft. Not in 12 teams, obviously not in 10 teams, but I'm saying if you're in a deeper league, this is a great pitcher to get. He's had a history of success in the minor leagues, and he's one injury away from being a major league starter. Like remember Luis Ill when he got called up? That's the kind of boost that your team can use in like a deep league draft and hold league, and this guy's got the stuff. And they let him go 3 innings his first spring training start. So yeah, I'm all for it. Plus, it's a great team. So Elmer Rodriguez Cruz is my guy to keep your eye on, because as we all know, pitchers get hurt, and they get hurt a lot, and so he's the next guy up for the Yankees. What do you think? Did you get a chance to check out Elmer?
I'm not, but I'm going to definitely take a hard look into him. But I wanted to give a quick shout out to Chubbs Peterson, 6226. Just tipped the show $1.99.
What? Thanks, man. Great show. Love it. Thanks.
Great job.
Yeah,
that's very nice of you.
Appreciate it. For those of you guys who don't know, if you're watching us on YouTube, it's not expected. It's always appreciated. If you wanted to send a little love, it does help offset some of the costs here for StreamYard and some of the other things that we have for Gove. So anything that you're able to tip, you always can do that. Super chats are always fun. We'll answer your question right away. We'll bump you to the top. But Chubbs, thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate the love.
Appreciate the kindness. Thank you.
Yep. Uncle Ted's bringing him up here too, which I was very, very like, whoa, when I saw him. Carlos Larange or Larong, I don't know how you say his last name.
I had no clue, but whatever we say, it's wrong. So we'll just operate under that. Yeah.
He was throwing Shed yesterday.
Yeah, he was.
So this is a guy I'm looking out for in spring training as well. Looked phenomenal. And again, we all know that that's going to be the norm all year long, because we saw one glimpse of him in spring training. So, yeah, he started yesterday and threw 103, which is crazy. So,
speaking of which, who's been hitting 100? Sandy Alcantara for the Miami Marlins. Now,
love him too.
That's a great sign, because last year he was up a lot more down than up. All right, because he was coming back from Tommy John and he's a little bit older. They were trying to trade him, but start after start wasn't good. But eventually he had some good starts. Sandy is it Alcantara or Alcantara? I say Alcantara. Okay,
I say Alcantara as well.
I shouldn't be allowed to talk, Mike. No, I really should.
No, dude. All
right, Sandy Alcantara for the Miami Marlins. He's looking good. I know spring training. I get that, but when you're hitting 100 on a former Cy Young Award winner, I really like the sound of that. And he finished on the mound, and that's the thing that we look at too. Spring training looks strong. His ADP ain't going to kill you. He's worth a shot. Like I'm going to pass on Sonny Gray. I'm going to pass on those kind of older Kevin Gosman range. Like that's fine, but Framber Valdez, nah. He looks like me in a uniform, Framber, and I do not mean that as a compliment. But so I'll take Sandy Alcantara. Have you looked at him this spring training?
I have not, but according to Bizza, he got roughed up today. But I put this on the screen because I want to talk about this for a second, Britton, because I'm with you. I love Sandy Alcantara.
I'm just talking about the velo, I guess.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. No. I'm with you on that 100%. This is going to lead into my next point. Is I think this is one thing to kind of take away from spring training is obviously we all love to see the guys who hit dongs and homers and things like that, steal bases, whatever it may be. With starting pitching, and it's something I always like to bring up every spring. Obviously guys treat them like real games, but they're also working on things in spring training as well, right? So when you see a pitcher get roughed up, I don't raise red flags to that. If their velo is up, if they're working on pitches, whatever it may be, they're working on location, they're working on timing, they're working on delivery. There's a lot of things that go into play here. So, plus it's only one game as well. So when they leave the game in spring training, I promise you they don't give a shit in terms of
not a veteran like this. Yeah.
No. And again, he's going to be right there too. So, when the regular season starts, later in spring training, that's when they actually start to tone it up a little bit and try to work on and try to be real game-like in terms of situations. But early on in the spring, I would not put a lot of weight into them giving up a lot of runs or walks or whatever it may be.
One other pitcher I want to bring up real quick. Excuse me. Kumar Rocker for Texas. If the house is a rockin', don't come
I'm a knocking, baby. That's what I tell my son every time I go to bed.
You put the red tie around the door or whatever.
Doorknob, yeah.
So our rocker for Texas, he and Jacob Latz are trying to get that fifth starting spot, and the reason why that's so valuable is because Kumar Rocker is a former highly touted prospect out of Vanderbilt. Go Vandy, and but he had injuries, but he's looking really good this spring. Asterisks, I know, spring training, but it's better than not looking good. So if Kumar Rocker gets that SP5 for Texas and pitches in that beautiful void of outfield and ballpark that just eats up fly balls to the defense, Kumar Rocker could be really interesting. Obviously, he's a flyer, but hey, if he keeps pitching like this, he's going to get that fifth start. And that's awesome.
Love it. You were in on a guy like Latz. I think you talked about him in our show too. So, but yeah, former top prospect out of Vandy. We went to the same school as Jack Leiter. So, look at this here. I know you'll like this, Britton. UT beat Vandy yesterday. Go Vols!
Yeah, Tony V, the coach for the Volunteers, is now coaching for the San Francisco Giants.
That's right.
So it's in a little bit of a transition, but Tennessee beating Vanderbilt is always a good thing.
Joe Chris, we talked about this on Wednesday's show. Do we think Connor Griffin breaks camp? And fun fact, his name is actually spelled with a K, not a C. But I know that a lot of people, Britton doesn't believe he'll crack the lineup. The head coach did come out and say late last week, that said
he laid the foundation of him for the fans. Yeah.
That he'd be hard pressed to see him cracking the opening day lineup. He's only 19. He'll be 20, I believe, in a couple of months. But he's only got a handful of games at AA. So would it surprise me to see him crack the opening day lineup? No, but the more likelihood is that he's going to start the year in double or AAA. So Britton brought up a good point. And again, Britton, I was listening to our show at the gym this morning when I was working out, and you brought up a good point that I want to bring up with all prospects. But
did y'all pick up that humble brag right there?
Yeah. Which one was
that? When were you listening to it?
Oh, at the gym when I was squatting.
Oh, God bless America. Okay.
We get it.
You're a fiddle. We got it.
Geez. But Britton brought up a good point on this as well, is the Pirates love to manipulate, right? Service time, because they don't pay anybody. So they want to hang on to them as long as possible. They did it with Bubba Chandler. They're going to do it with Connor Griffin as well. So I also wouldn't be shocked if we see him like after the All-Star break or something like that. But it's hard not to get excited during draft season for guys like this. Him, Kevin McGonigal, Britton, maybe not you in terms of your teams, but do you still think that he needs to be drafted on draft day, Connor Griffin?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Like I said, he's had 20 starts in AA. You have to remember, this isn't a college kid. He came out of high school. Like, he's not Nick Kurtz. Nick Kurtz played at college for years. Okay. He's out of high school, went to AA. He's going to be good. He's 19. They're not going to rush him, i.e. Jackson Holiday. I just don't see that happening with somebody that was playing high school a couple years ago. I think he's too important to rush up on a team that is known for manipulating playing time. Yeah. It just doesn't add up. I don't think, and they're going to say, "Oh, we're protecting him." Well, no, but no, they're good. He's going to develop. Now, if he's killing it in AA, and then I bet he ends up the season in AAA, and he'll be 21 years old before next season, 2027. Yeah, I don't see the point in rushing him. I really don't. That's just my opinion, obviously, but. Yeah, that's what I think.
I think we could possibly see him like May or June, but like you said, he'd have to be crushing it down in the minors. I do think it's likely he'll start in the minors, but I'm the reverse. If you have an NA spot in your league and you want to stash him there, I think it's worth it. But even if you don't, you want to take just a flyer at the end of your bench and see what it's like. Maybe he gets the call. Worth a shot for me. But he did K 3 times yesterday, Britton.
Well, you remember, like, Skeens played at LSU. He threw like 300 innings pitched in his senior year. Yeah. I mean, he was a seasoned pitcher, won the national championship against SEC talent. Like, that's not Connor Griffin's story at all. It's nowhere close. Right. And they still manipulated Skeens.
Yep, that's very true. And they did that with Bubba Chandler last year. So it's just the lay of the land there with Pittsburgh. Like Britton said, they have to because they don't spend any money and they don't give these guys. What ended up likely happening is Skeens, Chandler, and Connor Griffin will all likely be a Yankee, Met, Angel, or Dodger. Go to one of those big market teams, unfortunately. So, yeah, they'll probably start him in the minors there, but worth a shot in my opinion at the end of your bench or in an NA spot there. So,
hey, we've been talking about a lot of pitchers. Can we bring up?
Yeah, please.
The hottest hitter so far in spring training. Do you have any idea who that is?
Pete Alonso?
Pete Crow Armstrong Maestro!
I thought it was close. I have not
batting
seen
average in Arizona, where the Cubs play, Mesa, Arizona, also where they do First Pitch Arizona. Shout out Baseball HQ. Mesa, Arizona is a hitter's park, but okay, so Pete Crow Armstrong is batting over 500. Okay, so what? so his OPS so far in spring training is 1.368, which is like what Barry Bonds' OPS was. So what? I'm telling you, he trained all season with Alex Bregman for months getting ready for the season. I'm telling you, we gotta watch out for Pete Crow.
I hope that inhales or inflates his ADP so somebody can reach on him and I can get somebody else in that spot.
I can't
wait
the thing to see how this goes this year with your Luis Robert Jr. and my Pete Crow Armstrong. They're both probably just going to crash and burn, but whatever. Sign me up. Where's my ticket?
Do you want to hear my track record of bad takes so far, Britton, over the last 2 years?
I love it.
So I did a bit for the Pallazzo Podcast Patreon, and I just did like one player I'm not drafting in each round for Gove. I wrote an article on that. So I went like the first 12 picks, the second 12 picks, so on and so on and so on. Like who's one player that I would shy away from. That year was Aaron Judge, and he hit like 60 home runs that year. I was also out on my two biggest outs last year were Mason Wynn, which I hit on. I haven't heard anything about Mason Wynn this year. And then it was also Christopher Sanchez, and I blew that one as well.
Wow.
So
you're just a hater.
I'm a hater, man.
You go to you're the king of the haters ball. You go, you sit on your hater throne. Hate.
So, can we make it a 3 for 3 and I be wrong on Pete Crow Armstrong and he just or Yordan Alvarez and he goes 40-40 or 50-50?
No, yeah. So I just, as we said, Yes, absolutely, Frank. It's spring training. That's an asterisk. We just don't keep repeating it over and over again. Like
Yes.
we know this is all BS,
Right.
but hey, it's either this or I, have to do some parenting or something. So this is what we're doing. We're just talking about spring training and fantasy baseball, but it's all in good fun. Spring training's great. It means the regular season is right around the corner. Opening day. I may be going to Cincinnati for opening day. I'm still working that out with my buddy. So this is all just good fun and excitement.
Yeah. The thing with spring training and anybody who's tuning in late, we talked about it already too. It's only important if it fits your bias, right? If it doesn't fit your bias, it doesn't mean shit. So
right.
If it does, spring training means the world. So
clearly it only matters if it's what I want to happen.
Right. Exactly. Britton, we're coming up on time here, buddy. Anybody else that you wanted to talk about before we head out here on this glorious Sunday?
I went and saw Zootopia 2 with my daughter. She's 10 years old. We had a good time. The person behind me kicked my chair approximately 12 times.
Wow, dude.
Mike V, I don't know if you go to the movies a lot, but it got to a point where I almost turned around and threatened some type of bodily injury, which in front of a 10-year-old girl would have been, shall we say, a big mistake. But luckily it didn't happen. I just sat there and just stared straight for 2 hours.
How annoying.
So that's how my weekend went. And you, meanwhile, frolicking among the flowers and the bushes, picking up berries, going to the gym, dude. Going to the gym later. I think why are our weekends so different? It's weird.
I know, right? Yeah. Really quick before we get out of here, this has been one of my favorite prospects for quite some time here. Walter Jenkins, another youngster who might see some time with Minnesota this year. I doubt it. He's just still probably needs some more seasoning down in AAA. But he hit one like 100. I think it was a single or double in the gap. It was like 115 miles per hour off the bat, which was cool. But and then another guy that's getting a lot of hype here since Uncle Ted has brought him up 1,000 times already. Spencer Jones could hit 50 home runs in Yankee Stadium. A lot of guys were in on Spencer Jones last year. I just don't know where he plays in that current landscape there with New York. It'd almost have to take an injury or a trade to get him up there, right, Britton?
Oh yeah, and plus you got Jason Dominguez around. Like they're yeah. But of course, you've got Giancarlo Stanton and other players that tend to get injured, and who knows what happens if Trent Grisham's luck holds out like it did last year. We'll see. Yeah, but Spencer Jones is funny because literally it changes every single day. Like one day I see a tweet and it's some New York reporter going, "Look at this guy's swing. It is the ugliest, dumbest, most awkward looking piece of S you've ever seen." And then the next day he hits a home run and people are like, "Oh my God, Aaron Judge part 2. Wow."
Right.
So yeah, I don't know.
I wanted to bring this bottom banner up, Britton, because Michael Govier, for those of you guys who didn't know, is not with us. He is on his way back from his Glarf draft. But look at the yellow ticker here. Michael is sorry he is not here. He has let many people down in his life before, and he will likely continue to do so. Funny. But this Sunday, he will be back. Not this Sunday, next Sunday. I don't know who made this, but
that one's been used before. I've seen that. That's funny. Yeah, he was coming back from his Glarf or Barf draft or MILF. I bet if it was a MILF draft, you get a lot more clicks in that draft than the Glarf draft. But but he had a good time.
Yeah, shout out Govier too. I saw his team looked like he had a great draft, dude. Got his hands on Yuri Perez, Britton, which I was very happy for him on that. His first pick was Gunnar Henderson. I believe he picked towards the middle rounds of that draft.
I thought he kind of reached on Gunnar, and I like Gunnar Henderson too. But
you don't think he's a first rounder?
Oh no, he's a first rounder. But
okay,
I mean, he passed on like Skeens and Crochet. I don't know.
You would have taken those guys over Gunnar?
Oh, 100%. Okay, and
I didn't
like
see
Julio
that.
Rodriguez.
But I would have taken Julio over him. Yeah, but hey, I'm an O's fan, so I always love the O's picks. It also got Colton Cowser. Let's hear your moo pick, Britton.
Moo. No, I'm sorry. That's it. It goes like this. It goes. And I know this
I was looking for
because there are more cows in the state of Tennessee than people. That's an actual
fact. Yeah, there you go. Well, thank you everybody for joining in. We're coming up on the hour. This was a lot of fun, Britton. Always love talking baseball with you, dude. For those of you guys who don't know, Britton and I do a show and Gove on Sundays, which to get you ready for the week ahead. We'll talk about players to add, hot, drop, hold, fold. We got all those things, those bits coming your way to start SP streams. It's a lot of fun. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're following me at _Mike VA and Britton Allan, 2 T's, 2 L's, as well as all the other Pallazzo crew as well. We really greatly appreciate the support. Britton, anything else before we head off for the day, my friend?
No, I'm just going to go to the gym and have a protein shake and eat some berries.
Some Greek yogurt.
Some Greek yogurt. There's nothing good about those two words, Greek yogurt. And putting them together doesn't make it better. You know what I mean?
Thank you guys very much. We're going to end it with who, Britton?
Is this the clip about the
fantasy baseball? No.
Oh, see, I like that. You know, the best part about that clip is when it goes, "Sorry, Charlie."
Well, let's watch it now. We have to watch.
Yeah, let's end it on that one. That was hilarious.
Carlos Delgado.
Excellent choice. Too bad I got him 3 rounds ago.
You're still on the clock.
Oh, shit!
You gotta do something.
Yeah,
need a name.
Hideki Matsui. You just took my whole outfield.
Sorry, Charlie.
What is this?
Debbie,
What the fuck is this?
it's our fantasy baseball draft. We said no wives.
Your fantasy what?
It's our draft. The fantasy baseball. I told you all about this. Got Matsui.
It's so good.
Sorry,
all right, guys.
Charlie.
Thank you all so much. I'm going to take this off here. Thank you all very much for joining. We will see you next week. Thank you guys very much for joining, and later.